Hello.
Hello. I just noticed your fucking cursor is still blue.
Yes, because I figured out that those settings do indeed exist. The settings to make
Disgusting.
your cursor any color you want. You can make it any
It,
size.
it's
Pretty
it,
much,
it,
you can pick from a bunch of sizes, ranging from normal
it's
to
disgusting.
grandpa levels of big. Like the elderly people that can barely see can even notice where it is.
Yes, but why?
I wanted a color that would stand out.
Whatever. They're just whatever. We'll move on to the news.
It's pink on my work
Uh
laptop.
oh, hold on. I need you. I need a replacement for the podcast. This
a
is not possible.
A big cursor is a lot easier to see than a white one. So when you have three monitors and you sometimes lose your cursor because it's somewhere, you can very easily find it.
Yeah, you should try it with five.
Yeah, exactly. So
I
Jim,
mean,
make your
technically
cursor.
four. My cursor can only go to four.
Yeah, but I feel like you would occasionally lose your cursor.
Yeah, but the way that I lose is because I also always have Krita open, and on Krita, it of course is not a cursor; it's your brush. But that's like a tiny dot.
Yes, but you can make it you could make it a color. You can also customize each
No,
image.
it would not help in that instance because it's Krita overwrites that.
Yeah, I guess so. But you could change an image for like hovering over a text.
I
Like
know,
you
I
can
know.
customize all of those images. It's all in Windows settings.
It could be kind of fun to just at some point just draw like 20 different sprites for a cursor.
You could custom cursors.
Don't know what theme I would do though.
I'd say pick a character you like and go from there. Or,
Just
or, do- or
different alchemy symbols.
the best part is if you do it sort of. Oh, I have the most bad idea ever. Rearrange them.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
Your PC will be
Anyway,
secure from other people trying to do anything because they get confused by the cursor.
anyway. Um,
Yeah.
so there's been an update. Well, okay, they're now just we're at a point where there's just constant updates on the bricks and minifig situation because it's big now and people are doing research into it.
And
But the
they keep
thing
finding
we
more and
have to
more.
report today, yeah, the thing we have to report on today, I'm not recapping the story again.
Just watch our previous
The,
episodes.
the, yeah, or just better go watch Reckless Ben if we're being honest.
Higher, probably way higher quality and way more detailed.
Yeah, but regardless, no, it's been discovered. People have done some digging into to the owner of the company or owners. I think it's two. The brothers, but one of them is like the face of it. And I think it's the Magneth family, if I pronounce that correctly. Um, it's just it's a family thing. They've done this before multiple times. It's just that now it's becoming a big deal because it's getting covered.
They basically have a history of
Yeah.
making a company and rather quickly disband, sometimes months, within months, just disbanding the company.
Yeah. And then reinstating it under like a new number. New I don't know what it's called in America. Public service? No. Is it
Not
called a
sure.
service number? It might be a service number.
Not
Regardless,
sure.
new registration, and basically that way it becomes kind of hard to sue them because you have to like chase behind all these companies, and then every time you have one, it's like, no, that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that company isn't. isn't
Yeah.
in existence, so you have to. F- the
Yeah.
thing is, I feel like sometimes you just like a court could say, yeah, the company doesn't exist anymore, so your claim is gonna gonna fall through, losing you a lot of money.
Regardless, turns out the current owner uh probably learned this from his father, who did very similar stuff for like
Uh,
30 years.
It's a family business.
This has been a thing for yeah, this has been a thing for 30 years. Like a repeated kind of loop.
Yes.
So um I don't know if that's fixable. Like maybe now that they are under, under this much scrutiny, it might become a problem.
They might have to very quickly get their finances in order.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, they have like a couple hundred court cases running against them and shit. Like,
That is not a small amount.
it's kind of ridiculous.
Like they're really gonna have to go all out to try and protect their stuff. I'm not sure they'll be successful because of the amount of scrutiny that they're under, and we can't forget the entire situation they're in right now with the whole Lego stuff.
Yep.
Like they are just gonna struggle. So I'm very curious what will happen. Yeah, we'll probably keep you updated about that story.
Yeah. Because I think it's kind of funny to follow, to be honest.
Yeah, Jim, did you do any fun things over the weekend?
Uh, well, I've been editing and drawing and reading Pinocchio,
The
and
usual.
yeah. And for the people who think you don't know Pinocchio, I'm gonna respond with, no, you don't know Pinocchio, I don't think.
Aren't you reading like the original story?
Yeah, because so the version that I'm sure you are also familiar with
The pretty
is
much
probably the
the
Disney version. If
yeah.
it's not the Disney version, if you have read other books, they are probably heavily influenced by the Disney version, to the point that I think some people believe that it's like Walt Disney's story, which it's not. Um, so because the Disney version, which is like, it's still a good version, right? It's still a good story, but it's very simplified. Like it's a, in a way, like a watered down version. And it's not even necessarily like, oh, it's like those old fairy tales, or it's like super gruesome and they made it more child friendly. It's not like that. It's like actually just thematically very different, and very like a lot simpler. And on top of that, it is a satire of the political and cultural situation of Italy of the time. And especially the whole Italian part is like not really represented anymore in most adaptations of Pinocchio, which is also because of the Disney version. Because when the Disney version came out, it was like during or just after, I don't know exactly when it came out, but like during or just after the Second World War, uh, which is, of course, when you had Mussolini and fascism, and Italy had just declared war on America. So, as an entertainment company, you did not want to represent Italy at the time, you know?
or Germany, for that matter.
But Pinocchio is an Italian story, so
Yeah, but I'm sure well, technically they did do some like mocking, especially
well,
with
yeah, like
cartoons back
that. So
then.
you didn't make a kids story in a German or an Italian setting at the time.
No, the only time you did use it was to
Yeah,
basically make fun of them or paint them as
yeah.
the bad guys.
Or for to gather troops for indoctrination.
Yeah, because fight for your country.
Yeah.
I'm sure
But
people want to
you
fight
ever
for
seen that you
U.S.
ever
now.
seen that like Donald Duck where
Yeah.
he's like
You
an
mean
army
you
surgeon or
mean
whatever?
I've seen part of it just standing next to a conveyor belt, having to salute the German leader of that time. Each time the painting came by, and it just got worse and worse and worse.
Yeah. So
They
yeah.
used
So
it.
anyway,
They used that
uh,
as sort of
yeah,
propaganda, pretty much.
yeah. So the version that I'm reading right now is it's by Penguin Classics, and it's written, translated with an introduction and notes by John Hooper and Anna Cruxat. I don't know how to pronounce that. I probably butchered that. But they have like notes and paragraphs dedicated to the history of Italy in the time of Carlo Collodi, the writer of the story, and about his life and how it kind of formed the story and how it influenced it. Um, so it's actually it's really interesting. Like I'm learning things about Italy I did not know. Like I didn't know they went to war against Austria twice. I didn't know they were owned by Austria at some point.
Let me guess, because I lost one of those wars.
No. Both of them. Yeah, I'm sure there was a war before that, even then. But yeah, they were the first and the second Italian independence wars in the 1800s, which Collodi fought in both. And the first one was not successful, and the second one they got help from France, and they were successful. And Collodi had fought in both, and and they were like, "Yep, now we're independent as Italy, and now everything is gonna be great." And then it wasn't great because the first couple years were fine. They had to like pick a language because there were multiple versions of Italian, apparently. So they were like, "Which version do we use natively?" Which Collodi apparently had a pretty big influence in. Oh, Collodi himself, by the way, was a journalist. I also did not know that, but he was mainly a journalist. Like he was mostly famous for that. Now he's famous for Pinocchio, but that was like a very small thing of his career. Um, but what he did, or what happened, is that he was, of course, not a political person, but he was relatively not influential, um, but what do you call that? He was there. I don't know how to put it into words.
Present.
Uh, yeah, he was in like a lot of these like organizations. He was kind of involved in some way because again he was a journalist, and he kind of witnessed, and so of course did the people, that after a couple of years, this whole independence thing kind of didn't really work out, and a lot of people that were in poverty weren't helped, and the the rich people and the government and everything, they didn't seem to care. So that's why he decided to make children's stories, because he was like, I can't help this anymore, but if I can teach, the next generation good morals, then they can fix it.
You mean
Which
the same thing
Like,
that's somewhat happening in the UK right now after them
is it?
leaving the EU 10 years ago, promising things will improve, and now we're here 10 years later and things haven't improved.
Okay, well, the situation is a little bit different because they were conquered by the. I should know what it empire. It wasn't technically called the Austrian Empire. It was the Austrian something Empire. They were
Austria-Hungary,
conquered
I
by that.
guess.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, that's what they were conquered by. And that's what they fought for independence from.
Yes.
And so, but a lot of this critique, I guess, and comes back in Pinocchio, where there are some of these things that apparently mean a lot in Italian culture. But if you're like us, where you don't know those things, you don't know that history, you don't know that culture, you won't notice them. And so, there's just a lot of these details, and it's very fun to learn about. On top of that, as I mentioned, the Disney version is very simplified and also misses a lot of things from the original story, like a lot of characters, a lot of events, which makes sense, to be honest, for an adaptation, because he goes through a lot. Pinocchio goes through quite a lot. Uh,
Yeah, movies are
and putting
often
that all, if you put that all into a movie, it has no room to breathe, and it would feel like a very fast-paced movie.
you either get a fast-paced movie or you get a very long movie, which
Yeah.
would be
So
a fight
yeah,
about pacing.
yeah. So yeah,
Technically, you
I
could make a series
would
out of it.
recommend. There is a TV show that I think does cover every single chapter, but it was also live action and not very good, from what I've seen of it.
You
um,
mean
and
it
it's
got...
still apparently it's still loved. Like, people still enjoy it. It just wasn't good.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, live action Pinocchio sounds like an awful idea. And yes, I am aware that there are multiple versions of it that are live action, and that they're shit. Like the Disney remake, which, like, just fundamentally, like, at least the Disney cartoon still, kind of understands the story and just simplified it. From what I've seen of the remake, they just completely misunderstand the story. Um, There's that other one where he just looks like this wooden freak. Um, which I have not seen, but I don't really want to.
Yeah. Is it that bad?
Actually, there's apparently also a Pinocchio horror movie called Pinocchio's Revenge. I don't know if
I'm-
that's in live action. I presume it would be.
I mean, at this point, like any
This is quite
big
old. Apparently, this is quite old.
any
Hold
big
on, let me look it up.
cartoon character is that has entered the public domain, especially Disney characters,
1996.
have gotten a horror game made. I mean,
Wait,
one of the most
You
famous
know-
things was Winnie the Pooh back then.
you know what this looks like? I'm looking up this Pinocchio's Revenge right now. You know that episode, and I think it's also in the movie, of Goosebumps with the doll. I don't know his name. Slappy.
Does
You
not
ever
ring a
seen
bell.
that? Okay, if you've seen that, I think if you see it, you probably know it because it's quite famous. He looks like that, but made of wood. He does look kind of unnerving, I will say. He
mean,
does
I
not
am-
look like Pinocchio. I would not guess that it is Pinocchio, but
I am aware of a very crappy remake where the voice acting was just
yeah, I knew you were gonna bring that one up.
horrendous.
So, Okay, there is an adaptation that I want to see, and it's called AI Artificial Intelligence from I don't know exactly when this came out. It came out like 2016, 2017 or something. Let me look it up. It's by Spielberg, but it wasn't originally going to be a Spielberg movie. Uh, like I forget who made it. Oh, it's 2001 even. Holy shit. But the person who originally made it or was working on it like died before he could finish it, and then Spielberg went to finish it. And it's a Pinocchio adaptation that is like it's not presented as a Pinocchio adaptation, right? Like it's called AI artificial intelligence, and it's about a a kid who falls ill, and the parents like that he goes into like some kind of stasis pod or something, I think, while he's healing. And then the parents, so they don't feel like sad, I guess, so they don't miss their child too much. They get a robot that looks like their child. Um,
Like that doesn't go. That isn't gonna go wrong.
yeah, exactly. And this robot, um, has feelings, right? Like he or develops feelings and starts to love the mother. But then eventually the other kid, like their real kid, who I think is called David. I haven't seen the movie again. I want to see it. But this is what I know about it. Is that the kid like eventually comes back home because he's fine again. And now they have this robot. So it's like, yeah, we should, turn him off. But the mother has also kind of fallen in love with this robot. So she doesn't want to, turn him off, which would be the equivalent of like killing him. So instead, she takes him and drops him off in the woods and then leaves.
That's just worse.
Yes, it kind of is worse. And then from there, from what I've seen of it, from there it kind of becomes Pinocchio, where he goes to look for the blue fairy, and he finds like a circus and all that. Like it seems really cool to me.
I mean, it does seem like, first of all, you have one child that's ill. You basically get a twin. You could have very easily kept them, you know, together, because often two people
I
that,
mean,
well, it could go wrong, but if you have two children that basically like the exact same things, that's gonna make parenting a lot easier. You basically have to think of one kid, double the amount of stuff, done.
yeah.
At least for
Anyway,
presents.
yeah. I mean, I think my favorite adaptation will always be Lies of P because it's Lies of P.
I still
This
have
is
to.
another fun thing. I'm finding more references to the the game has. I didn't know Arlecchino was actually from the book. I mean, he's not like a psychopathic serial killer in the book. He's just a puppet, but he's there.
I mean, I still need to remind myself to bring the book when I go over. I
Yeah,
think, was it this
yeah,
weekend?
Saturday.
Yeah. I
Another amazing adaptation though. Guillermo del Toro's. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Guillermo. He like if you've seen any of his movies, he's great. He also made like the now really popular Frankenstein. That does not narrow things down. Frankenstein is the most adapted story ever. But like the recent one, right? The one that came out like a year ago. Not the other one, not the bride, the one that fucking why are we
yeah, this game occasionally does dumb shit.
why did you suddenly flash bush person?
Because apparently, instead of keeping the cursor on the game, which you're seeing in the
Oh,
background, it
I see.
occasionally moves it outside of the thing,
I see.
causing said issue.
Anyway, yeah, no, but he made a Frankenstein movie. But he also made a Pinocchio adaptation, and it's like a claymation movie, which first up, fucking brilliant for Pinocchio because you just have an actual puppet, basically. Um,
You have a puppet to do puppet things.
yeah. Oh, hold on.
Because that is actually quite good. Yeah.
So, but his version is also quite different from the original. But in terms of its message, it's a lot closer to the original. Because like the original has like a couple messages. The most important one is probably the importance of education. You probably all know the scene where Pinocchio turns into a donkey. Uh, that's the thing, right? Because if you don't go to school, you'll be dumb as a donkey, and you'll live as a donkey, and you'll die as a donkey. Um, that's like the main thing, and then the other thing that's really important in it is like the importance of caring for others and helping others, and especially your family, because it's Italy still, like. uh, but and what Del Toro's version is about is very much about that family aspect between Pinocchio and Geppetto. But it's set in a very interesting setting. It's shortly after or during, I think it's during World War II,
Hmm.
where with Mussolini is just in the movie, and we have a scene. It's not even like a super major spoiler to say this. We have a scene of Mussolini ordering his soldiers to execute Pinocchio.
Let me guess. By hanging.
No, that happens in the book, but no.
So they tried to hang a wooden doll.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure he actually. I haven't gotten to that part in the book yet, but I know that eventually he's hanged and he dies, and that was originally supposed to be the ending.
Hmm.
But no, no, they just shoot him in the head.
That would be a more fitting. I mean, if we're talking about a wooden puppet, then
So yeah, no,
putting him on
that's
another
another.
string doesn't really matter.
It's a pretty cool thing in that movie. Like he dies a couple times, but he like because he's a puppet, he just comes back.
He always comes back.
Yeah, exactly. So they have some stuff that like that's how he like ends up in the military at some point because it's like he's an immortal soldier.
Yeah, as soon as someone from the military realizes that, wait,
Yeah.
this one can't die.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've just won
So
the war.
yeah, I might want to rewatch that adaptation stuff because like it was actually great.
Like that,
But yeah,
it just automatically means you've won.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. I mean, I feel like a bomb would still be pretty effective because, like, what's the point in coming back if all your body parts are spread all over the floor?
Unless you have
I
some
guess they
sort
can
of
repair him, I guess.
yeah, and because it's wood, and wood is quite an abundant resource. I mean, it's a renewable one, so you could even just if you found out if you. I feel like if it were to happen today, you would basically have probably most likely the U.S. military just
How would how
trying to
would
find a way to
what's the
harness that
hold
because
on,
they
what
could
is
just
that conundrum called again? The ship of
ship of Theseus.
yeah. How would that work on Pinocchio? Would he
Would he be
surely
Pinocchio?
at some point surely at some point you would remove the part that keeps him alive.
Like it will be the quest to find the part that kills him.
So that's another thing in the book that a lot of people I think don't know. A lot of because if I were to ask you, how did Pinocchio come alive?
Good question.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, so in most adaptations, it's the blue fairy doing it, right? Like, like, again, the Disney version, Wish Upon a Star, uh, and the blue fairy comes and brings him alive. Yeah, no, in the book, he just kind of is.
It's just not
There's
explained
just a
how. It
there,
just is.
there's a block of wood, and this block of wood already talks to Mr. Cherry. And then Geppetto comes in and is like, hey, I want to make a puppet. Can I have some wood? And it's like, yep, here's wood. And the wood just speaks. And when Geppetto works on his nose grows. And so we call it to make a proper nose.
Meaning,
Which is another thing, by the way. The whole nose growing thing is not related to lying at all. Like, I don't know why that is a thing. But
maybe
yeah,
a Disney thing.
this is literally the opening of the book. Once upon a time, there was a king. My little readers will no doubt say in a flash. No, kids, you got it wrong. Once upon a time, there was a piece of wood. That's the opening.
Honestly, that's funny as shit. Like, once upon a
Yeah,
time, wood,
yeah. Because it's another
and they
thing.
lived
He's
happily ever
very
after.
Kalodi is very subversive in like his use of words. He doesn't really use like traditional phrases. He like invents his own. And he also kind of steps around cliches a lot. He doesn't really use cliches. He subverts them, which is very ironic because Pinocchio is like the most cliche thing nowadays.
Nowadays.
there are, again, because there are so many adaptations and stories that are like it where it's like it's become a cliche, but the original of course isn't because it's the original. It invented it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's probably enough of me gushing over my current autistic obsession.
Current hyperfixation.
Yeah. I guess Drew. I guess whenever you next ask me to do something for your stream, I'll just read Pinocchio aloud.
I don't mind. I'm not there, so.
It would probably be a lot more coherent and entertaining than me recapping Greek myth, because the Pinocchio's like chapters are very short, like they're pretty short chapters. So I don't have to like recap them and miss all the details.
Yeah.
So other news.
Other news? Well,
Do we have more news?
I
Actually,
brought.
I do.
Ah,
There's America news.
America news?
It's not super significant, but I saw this on TV. So, in Washington, there is this like, this is in Washington, where they have this in Washington D.C. They have this. I don't know what it is. I think there's like a pillar, and then there's like a pool, like a
You mean
pool of
the
water.
reflecting pool that has
Yeah, yeah,
been a problem for a while, considering
yeah.
it
So,
first wasn't reflecting. Well, apparently Trump didn't think it was reflecting enough, so he thought
yeah. So
we're gonna
he
paint it
painted blue.
blue.
So
That.
most of the paint has already fallen off.
Yeah, but then it also attracted a bunch of algae as well.
Yes, it's currently a mess of algae, which they are cleaning. But I saw this yesterday. They're cleaning it with water.
No, weren't they cleaning it with
They,
chemicals?
they, no, they were cleaning with water. They were cleaning the water-based algae in the water pool with water.
Mm. And
That
didn't
does
people
not
also
work.
get arrested as well for
I don't know.
vandalism because of that?
I don't know. All I know is it's a fucking mess, and there were people protesting around it, and there are other people that are like, yeah, it's great. Oh, also apparently he wants to build an Arc de Triomphe.
Why does it not surprise me?
He wants to build it over like a bridge, which I don't know the exact details of it. I know he wanted like a gilded statue on top, which why? Like I love the Arc de Triomphe. I think it's actually a really cool thing, but in the modern day, you don't exactly need it.
Yeah, but hey, it's
So
the president and he wants something, so he's gonna do his.
yeah, but there's no way it's gonna be done at the time he's done. So I mean, unless
Yeah.
his follow up is gonna be like, yeah, no, just continue building that. But
Yeah, I mean, we can't forget the
but then I also need to
ballroom.
ask. So the reason I think the Arc de Triomphe is cool is like because it was built by Napoleon, right? Wait, actually, was it built by Napoleon? I think it was built by Napoleon. At least he used it. Uh, whereas it's the thing on like the Champs Elysees, the main street of Paris, and after victories, they would march their armies through the Arc de Triomphe, hence the Arc de Triomphe, right?
Basically, the triumph
And
arc, sort of a victory thing.
yeah, actually, yeah, it was made by Napoleon because it also has all the places he conquered written on it. Which, if I'm correct, Bergen of Zoom was misspelled on it. Anyway.
Mm.
But my question then becomes what has Trump done that is worthy of something like that, of a monument like that? I know in his eyes it's fucking everything, but realistically, even if you're a Trump supporter, right? You could, but like the arrest of Maduro, like, I mean, I guess that was significant, but is that really worthy of like a monument like that?
I mean, the war in Iraq is not something
the,
that
the
is
one
going to
that
be
he
on there.
ended and then subsequently started again 2 weeks later.
You mean the one that he ended like probably 20 times already?
Yeah.
He treats it more like an on-off
And also
switch.
the one that he started as well. So I would not.
Not only the one that he started, but the one that's currently still driving up fuel prices. So not only is
So
he messing up everyone's economy, he's
yeah.
also looking like a fool doing it if he isn't too busy trying to be in a picture with the winners of
So
the World Cup.
yeah. So
Spain has actually photoshopped them out of it because Trump was doing what the president of the FIA is doing in Formula One, basically being present everywhere.
yeah.
Just basically self-inserting
You know,
himself
you
over and over
you
again.
realize the FIFA gave him the World Cup trophy
And they also
and
give
was
him a
like,
peace prize.
yeah, you can keep it, and we'll just make a second one for the actual tournament.
Yeah, but didn't they also make gave Trump a peace prize because he couldn't get the Nobel one? So he got one from FIFA, which, by the way, totally isn't corrupt or anything. No, not at all.
Joe, how dare you speak this blasphemy?
If it wasn't that obvious, you'd be blind. Like, it was really that fucking obvious that it was happening. Well, I've talked about this at home a lot, or at least quite a bit, specifically regarding Messi as how he plays, and at least in my house, at home, we agree that he basically plays like a toddler. Like, anything that doesn't go his way, he's gonna complain about.
I mean, that's just soccer, though, to be fair.
Yeah, but he goes to an extreme where if he doesn't get his way, like, he's just gonna, like, one of the Spanish players, cover their mouths real quick, wipe it off with a couple fingers. But in soccer, what used to be allowed was speaking to each other with your hand covering your mouth. That way, nobody could see what you were talking about. In case you were, insulting someone or talking strategy with your team. But that isn't allowed anymore. And as soon as it happened, Messi immediately started waving down a referee like, "Oh, he did this, he did this." Like a spoiled little kid. That isn't getting his
soccer,
way.
Yeah.
Yeah. There'll probably be a bunch of others that will agree with me that I'm glad it's over. I'm glad we no longer have to listen to a bunch of colleagues betting on the outcome. A lot of news just basically being about soccer all the time because, wow. It is especially bad if your own country is still in the game. Like when the Netherlands was still playing, a lot of the news would just be like, it would be everywhere.
Yeah.
Although the Dutch did get a reward. They did get an award. They got the Fair Play Award.
What does that mean? Like a good job? Is it a you tried reward?
It is basically being the nicest team to sort of play games, being the most fair. It's basically, we have the least whiny bitches.
Great.
Apparently.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's still like what Japan is doing each time, which is pretty much just saying, alright, we're gonna clean up after ourselves. Which is apparently not a thing that a lot of them do. Just cleaning up. It's not that difficult to do. Like, just take the stuff you keep grabbing, put it somewhere, where in the trash. If you're incapable of doing it, the trash can is still a solid place to be. But then for yourself. Because it ain't difficult to put trash in there.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Hello. And also, cars are expensive. Because,
Really now?
I took mine to a shop today because the yearly inspection was coming up. and I wanted to be decently early on that in case there was a bit of a line, you know, with the whole summer thing. And that usually means that people tend to, you know, think, oh, we're going to go on a holiday. Oh, we need to get the car inspected first. And then I make an appointment. Well, I called yesterday. Well, thanks. I emailed over the week, and then they called me yesterday, basically saying, "Yo, can you do today, 9 o'clock in the morning?" So I immediately went to my to the project leader, but talking about, hey, can I work from home tomorrow? I was like, yeah. So I did. Brought the car today. Later today, I got a call with the results. It wasn't a clean pass. There was a couple of boots that were torn, so those are going to be replaced. They measured a brake difference between axles, the or on the rear axle. So they were talking about changing brake pads, which happened 2 months ago, roughly. Maybe a bit longer, but I was just saying, like, yeah, that's not the issue. Those were replaced pretty recently. That should be fine. And apart from that, some parts need to be replaced. Some more stuff. Air conditioning is going to be refilled. So I'm going to have cold air conditioning again. And all in all, it's going to cost me just under 2,000 euros.
Right.
That is more than
Which is bought the
used
car
to.
for.
Yeah. But it does include an inspection, new rear tires, because apparently those are cracking a bit as well. There are many things that, you know, the car needs some work, but once it's done, I can at least have some faith that it will operate properly.
Do you?
It better,
Sounds,
otherwise I'm coming
I-
straight back to the garage saying, "Yo, you fixed it.
Sounds a bit desperate.
It's not working. You messed something up." I mean, of course, it's slightly dependent on the. It is slightly dependent on what breaks and what doesn't break. Because if something that I thought would be like if I am well enough with cars that I can say, all right, well, this broke. It isn't something you actually did. So I can say with confidence that you guys didn't do anything wrong. But if it's something that can be seen as doing it wrong, then I'll probably be on their ass till they actually solve it. Because I ain't stupid. I mean, I feel like many people will say, yes, you are. But that's almost expected. Yeah, I'm probably gonna get a call tomorrow that it's ready, meaning I'm gonna leave work slightly earlier, which means I'm gonna have to make up time in other days, basically Wednesday through Friday, which means I can nicely spread the time, like stay, if it's only half an hour or 1.5 hours, I can say, all right, I'm gonna stay those 3 days, half an hour longer, still end my work week on the 40-hour mark, and be happy, because that's what it's all about. As long as I can keep finishing my jobs on time. And that's also something that some colleagues have, or mine have, that I don't agree with. And that is bringing their work on vacation.
Don't tell my boss.
What?
My boss went on vacation, or at least tried to, and he just ended up calling
You
us
mean
like,
he tried to?
he is not a man who likes to be away from his work.
Oh.
Yeah, you have those people.
So when he got home on Saturday, that means that he was in the office immediately on Sunday.
Right. Wait, but Yoran, how dare he work on a Sunday?
Exactly.
I mean, the thing is, with this type of stuff, like, I got a call from a colleague today, a colleague that's on vacation. Like, personally, I would bring my phone for like emergency phone calls if like something has to happen, but I won't bring my laptop. Like, if you want work done, you're gonna have to wait till I'm back home. Until Monday. Like, sure, you might be able to reach me and I might be able to clarify some things if I remember them. But I won't be there 24/7 to deal with bullshit.
Why not?
Because I would be on vacation. And vacation
you
means
should be there 24/7.
vacation means away from work. I'd like to keep that separated. I already had a couple of days last week where I spent time at home working. Which, of course, if you're working from home, that's normal, but this was like in the evening. And that is something that I'd rather not repeat each time. We also had a problem with power yet again. I started up my laptop today thinking I'm gonna do work. It was around 8 a.m. I tried to log in onto the server that we have there on location. Doesn't do anything. But the one that we have in the office does work. Yes, we have a specific VPN connection to the office. Purely because, I guess, cybersecurity. But that one worked, so after bringing my car away, but I'm trying a new garage, it's probably, I could go to the one we were at before, and you will know which one I'm talking about. Because I think you were with me when we picked that one up.
Yep.
Like, it's currently at one that's a 20-minute walk. It isn't even 2 kilometers away. It's a lot closer, and if this one works as well, then I'm gonna stay with this one. Because I'd much rather have some garage that's close to me instead of one that's like far, far away. Because one that's far away often, like, yeah, it might be slightly cheaper, but the extra input you have to give in order to get there, I am not doing that. I'm not walking an hour purely because I could bring my car to a garage, so that's slightly cheaper. I want to be able to bring it somewhat close. You know, the drive was 5 minutes. I was 5 minutes early. They did immediately help me. And that is, like we spent some time walking around the car as well. Especially because we're gonna do the yearly inspection. It does feel nice to go through it, everything. Without having, now of course it puts some things in already in the description, like the crankshaft pulley has a slight wobble, the AC isn't blowing cold. You know, a bunch of basic shit. But yeah. Now it's waiting for a call tomorrow. And then picking it up and then putting everything back in, because I just pretty much that Sunday bought like 72 cans of a certain liquid.
Enough liquid for a little bit, I see.
Yes. And it is, let me tell you, it is heavy.
70, hold on.
Like 3
72
trays.
cans times 303 or 330 millimeters is 23.76 milliliters divided by 1,000 is 23.76 liters. I have to divide it by 1,000 again, don't I? Yes, I do.
I think one tray weighs around like 9 kilograms.
So that's... Okay, well, that's curious. But total should be like 23 then, right?
23 divided by 3 results in like 7.6, which makes it roughly 8 kilograms per tray. It was carrying 3, so... And I had to cross the street, because guess what?
You said 72 cans,
Yes.
right?
72 cans.
330 mils a piece.
Yes.
Is 23.76 liters.
Yeah.
Divided by 1,000 and times 1,000 is 23 kilos. 23.76 kilos.
Yes. But that's just the liquid. We're forgetting the actual can bit. And
yes.
Also the packaging. So that's why I generally take like 8 kilograms for one tray of cans. 24 cans is roughly around 8 kilograms. So that's like 24 kilograms that to carry across a road. Because all the loading spots on the side of the store were taken.
I see.
But it was a nice ride, I guess. And it being a nice ride does mean that I just got to do some drive. I did have to clear out my trunk a bit though, because every time I go to a garage, it's basically a case of carry all the valuable stuff out of it. I don't care how much I can trust the garage, I'd rather have my personal belongings not be in the car. Or at least
Mhm.
not things I
Fair
can,
enough.
not the things I can miss. Such as 3 trays of liquid. I mean, I did leave my tray of like bottles in there because of. I'm not sure if they still have that deal, but like almost $11 for 24 bottles, like basically 12 liters of fancy water is pretty good. I'm definitely gonna buy it again if the opportunity is there. It's just that, I don't care if they take some of those bottles. But
Gilles,
yes.
I am sending you a step file.
Why does I really need to get my mind out of the gutter? You're saying step
What?
file. What is the first thing I think of? What are you doing, step file? That is the first thing I
What?
thought of.
Why?
Because my mind is always in the gutter.
You keep it that way, Jim.
And I know what the step file is doing.
I am
Turning my printer on.
Right. This is a news podcast. I haven't heard any news since I got on here.
Because
We've
I already talked about it.
about the news.
Alright.
I can take a look, I guess.
News like an update on the bricks and minifigs situation and a little bit about the little
Well-
pond in Washington D.C. and then like half an hour on Pinocchio. Don't worry about it.
Have we talked about Russia yet?
What have they
with
been
Russia?
doing now that they haven't already done?
They have had yes.
They have had.
They had some explosions in Moscow. They have basically no more fuel because
Oh, I didn't know
Ukraine bombed
that.
it all.
Yeah.
The massive lines that exist at every
At
gas
fuel
station
pumps.
there.
Even though they know that like any fuel pump can be bombed like at any point, but they still go.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Maybe not stand at the military target. Well, I guess civilian targets. But you know what I mean.
Yeah, but what else are you supposed to do? You gotta have to get fuel eventually.
It's like how it's gonna end, because on one hand I don't see Russia winning, but I also don't see them losing.
It wouldn't surprise me if like some diplomatic thing ends up happening, like they're just finding a way to sort of diplomatically solve it, basically meaning nothing, basically saying, all right, nothing happened, everything is fine, we don't have to worry about anything anymore.
Yeah, but I feel like at some point Ukraine isn't gonna accept that, because at some point they're just winning.
Aren't they already slowly starting to win due to Russia
They're
simply
not winning, but they're not losing either.
I mean, from what I know, Russia's just basically been.
Like if you look at manpower, yes, Russia is losing more manpower than the Ukrainians.
If we talk about armor,
Yeah, but if we talk kill to death ratio, like on Ukraine's part, I think it's like the Ukrainians lost like 800,000 and the
Russia's
Russians like
probably over 1 million.
1 point something million, something
Yeah.
like that.
And also, Russian armor isn't doing too well. Put it lightly.
Yes. Also, have you heard about real life kill streaks?
I did see a short about that today. Yeah, did you? But only a little
The
bit.
Ukrainians are having a real life kill streak system.
What?
So they get they get rewarded for kill streaks,
Okay.
pretty much.
So as a unit,
That's
you
fucked
get
up.
points for doing for getting strategic targets. And if you send in evidence of the target that you have eliminated, then that is being kept track of in a database, and you are given points which you can spend on equipment for your unit, stuff like drones.
That's fucked up though. Well,
It's a
actually, no, that
literal
doesn't
kill
make
streak
sense.
system.
But
It is actually highly effective because the best unit gets the best stuff automatically, and it always goes to the right place. So it's actually
yeah,
a very effective system.
yeah, but if you say it like that, it sounds fucked up.
Yeah, it is literally ripped out of Call of Duty.
I
Yeah.
presume that was not the actual inspiration for it, but
Well, I don't know, but it is probably not directly, but it is a known system because of games like it.
Yeah.
I guess.
And honestly, it does indeed reward the best people. Like, the best people get the best equipment, and the worst people are dead. But that means
Yeah,
you
it is
won't lose
harsh.
valuable equipment.
It is harsh, but it's war, so it's gonna be harsh anyway. But it is effective in that sense.
And it provides a new... Like, it provides an incentive to be a skilled soldier. Because, you want those good weapons, right? You want those fancy drones and everything.
It does only work in a situation like Ukraine though, because because I just see it happening that people are just gonna fake strategic targets then just to farm points.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do they like keep track of it? Like, how do they prove basically that they?
I don't know exactly how that works.
Well, if you have to capture strategic targets, I feel like it would be something like putting up a flag somewhere.
It might be though I guess Ukrainian intelligence preemptively sets out important targets that you then take out. So it's a known target beforehand. That might be.
It's basically like a mission. Like, you get a briefing for, like, you have to kill this guy, or you have to capture this piece of land. Go do it.
Yeah.
Make us proud, and then you go do that specific thing. They're like, all right, here, a
But I
drone.
also feel like they give their units a lot of freedom in that they can kind of attack wherever they want, because that's kind of the key strategy that we're seeing. Because it's always random strikes at random locations all over, well, the border area of Russia.
I mean,
I feel like it isn't
if
like
you
random.
don't know what you're doing, then neither does your enemy.
I feel like it
Annoyingly,
isn't
Jules' strategy finally shines through.
my chess strategy.
Yeah.
Yes, I feel like it's not entirely random. There are still some resemblance of
Yeah, no,
just
it's not fully
coordination.
random, of course. It's always like, yeah, these targets are important types of targets, but you can classify a type of target
Yeah,
without
like as
pointing to a location.
it basically is like capture this piece of land or something. Like, make sure that it's
Well, like a gas station or a oil refinery or stuff like that.
I mean, that would also be a very easy thing. Like, all right, we want you guys to destroy this refinery. Do it. And then they go and destroy the refinery. You can easily check that through satellite imagery. You can basically show up like, all right, we have this satellite image that says that, yep, it's destroyed. All right, give them the points, and then they get the points instead of, how do we know that it's actually destroyed? It's a very clear system.
Also interesting that even though the oil prices have been going up again drastically because of a certain someone,
Yes.
Russia is still like in terms of profits, it's the declining for their, well, it's declining nationally how much they earn from oil just because of how many oil refineries Ukraine has been destroying.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're literally out competing the world economy right now.
Interesting.
Yeah. I feel like with the entire situation in Ukraine still, there is just going to be like, it's gonna take a while. I mean, this 3-day special military operation, I think, has gone on longer
It's
than
gonna take
World
a
War
while.
One.
It's dude, it's been longer than the World War II front between Germany and Russia.
Yeah, it has been, I think,
It's
longer than
literally one of the longest wars in recent history on
isn't
European
it?
soil.
Isn't it going on? Hasn't it been going on longer than the entirety of the First World War?
Uh, yeah, I think so. We are already at 4 and something years, I think.
Yeah, so I think it's either around or longer than the entirety of that
4
war.
years, 4 months, 3 weeks, and 6 days.
Yeah.
Not that. I'm not laughing on that. Don't worry.
World War One was 4 years, 3 months, and 14 days. So we've been
Yeah.
going uh, slightly less than a month longer.
Yeah, it's how do I put this?
Fuck.
Somewhat sad that it's currently happening this way. Because it doesn't
It's
have to
not
be.
it's not as long as World War Two yet. That's at 6 years and 1 day.
Yeah. It'll probably reach
So
that though.
it's not that bad yet, but it is unfortunately quite likely. Yes. Also, the scope, of course, is a lot less severe. So they're not comparable in that regard, but they're both bad, of course.
It's weird to me how that entire war has been going. Like it started out as a I feel like a surprise attack from Russia, meaning that, you know, Ukraine was taken a bit by surprise. I feel like not entirely, but still just they like surely he won't pull through. He surely won't go through with this. And then he did. Then the Ukrainians started pulling weird ass tactics. I think was it called Operation Spiderweb? Where they launched a bunch of drones from within Russia by simply trucking them in. Which is something they did. They trucked in a bunch of them. So imagine a bunch of trucks suddenly having trucks with containers on the back. All of a sudden they open. A bunch of drones fly out. Now you have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because that's what Ukraine has been good at. Attacking energy infrastructure. That's why they're running low on fuel. If Ukraine was doing the same things as Russia, which is bombing random apartment blocks, you know, without much thought behind it, which of course gives
Yeah.
a lot of people suffering. Because now you're attacking civilians, and those civilians did nothing but exist. And you decided, yep, it's time to throw a rocket into that into that building. Might also be the accuracy. Because we all know that Russian weapons aren't necessarily that accurate in their shooting.
Yeah. No, looking at the data, it's quite grim.
For what side? Probably both.
I'm currently looking at, well,
I mean,
this website seems to track only Ukrainian casualties at the moment.
Probably because Russian territories aren't that easily, Russian casualties aren't that visible in data because Russia is Russia, and probably
Yeah,
both parties are probably fudging the
there's
numbers a bit.
there has been, well, I don't know, but it varies for weekly between, well, this is like 1200, 700, a lot of more around the 1200, unfortunately. And that's a mix of KAA, MIA, and prisoners of war.
Yeah, yeah, of course, have the of course, it isn't just a clear kill. You have you. It's the same with like tanks. You have the people that are injured. You have the people that are.
Well, no. The thing is, you just don't always. You're not always in the position to retrieve people. So
Sometimes a kill happens from so far away that
just
you don't notice it.
slightly more than 50%. It's like a difference of 6,000 between people that are actually collected and buried and people that are still missing.
Yeah. And if you actually take a look at how much land is taken, it's basically returned back to like First World War levels of casualties. Like a lot of casualties for a little bit of land.
Yeah.
That's what where we're at this point.
So the European War has gone on a lot longer, but the casualties have not been as bad.
Like the entire thing of trench warfare. It has basically returned in that area.
Well, okay, so
To a
World War
degree, of
One was
course.
11 million military victims.
Yeah, the scale was way bigger, but the tactic is remaining the same. You dig a bunch of trenches and you try to get each other from a distance. That's
The
the
crazy
entire
part
plan.
about these things is that there's so many people dying that it's just almost impossible to keep track of. It's always estimates of, for the civilians, it's between 6 and 13 million. We don't really know how bad it is.
And that is also quite concerning.
Yes. It's
That we
also
don't
just
know.
straight up incomprehensible.
Yeah, not knowing how bad it's actually. You know, how bad it is. I mean, it's war. You can't really say any more about it. We're dealing with war here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
And as soon as you're dealing with a war, you're dealing with everything that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let me check some more news. Germany wants to ban alcohol from railway stations. So if you're
Fair.
I mean,
an alcoholic
that
and you want to
seems like
drink
a
it,
decent idea.
I thought the same thing. I mean, but then again, smoking on Dutch train stations is also illegal. Yet I've seen people smoke at the railway station of the airport in Amsterdam. You know, the one that's underground in a tunnel underneath the airport.
What's the problem, Joe? You
Seeing someone smoke there is quite concerning.
you seem to take issue with that.
Yes, not only are you not allowed to smoke, you're in a tunnel. If there's gonna be fire, it's gonna go where the most air is, because fire wants fuel. Air is fuel. I mean, if you light a fire in a tunnel, just just like a tube, it's gonna try and go for the edges. Spain wants to ban smoking on. What is that word in English? On terraces. They basically want to ban that. So if you're gonna go, if you're out in near a shop or something, and you just wanted something to drink, but you want to have a smoke with it as well, Spain is gonna prohibit the smoking bit.
Hold on, I need to convert this to meters. 525 feet. It's 160 meters. Which is now the current world record of the longest foosball table.
Okay. Should we've been going for like an hour and 20 minutes. Should we?
Let me see some more news.
Also,
Oh yeah,
is my audio fixed yet? Do you know?
we're gonna find out because you
Oh.
sound perfectly fine on through Discord. It's only when you reach OBS is when it falls apart. But we also have a new British Prime Minister.
What?
Oh, again?
Yes, because Keir Starmer has resigned because of pressure from his own party. He basically been thrown out of his own party, or at least made to resign because he was handling things badly. I don't remember who was the new one.
Andy Burnham.
Burnham.
Since
Yes.
the 20th of July 2026, so yesterday.
Yeah. And he has a bunch of work ahead of him. A lot of work ahead of him.
If we go
you
to
know,
the history of UK presidents, I'm expecting to see a lot in the recent history.
You mean like the 6 ones in 10 years?
List of Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom.
I mean, you had...
Okay, here we go. The first one, 20 years and 315 days. So basically 21 years. Next one, 1 year, 137 days. 10 years, almost 3 years, not quite a year. I mean, this is in what? 17, 15, 7.
Ah,
Generally speaking, they at least do a year. Okay, we have one weird guy that's 97 days, but most of them.
you mean Liz Truss that lasted shorter than a head of
No,
lettuce?
Charles Watson Wetton in 1782.
Hmm.
I see a funny 23 days by a Sir Arthur Wellesley in 1834,
Hmm.
who is also the first Duke of Wellington, apparently. So that might be the shortest one. 23
Uh,
days.
I feel like Liz Truss would be the shortest one, considering the whole lettuce ordeal. Like it was pathetic to see the whole
Liz
lettuce
Truss,
thing.
50 days. She did twice as long as the other guy.
Huh.
Now I'm very curious what the other guy did.
Andy
Probably nothing.
Burnham, 2 days.
What?
Yeah, no, he started yesterday.
Oh. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Like it's. I mean, it's a start.
but
He has a big job ahead of
there,
him. I hope he does well.
yeah, it doesn't seem to be abnormal, but then generally they do run fairly short. The last very long one was, I guess, Tony Blair from 1997 to 2007, so 10 years.
Hmm.
And we had David Cameron, who did
Yeah.
6 years and 64 days.
David Cameron, the brother of James Cameron.
I don't know.
And wait, how?
No, just no.
I have a probably decent question.
I'm surprised
How
that
long?
Boris Johnson was still in there for like 3 years.
How long was Margaret Thatcher in power, actually?
Margaret Thatcher, 11 years and 209 days.
Yeah, she was in power for quite a
From
while.
1979 to 1990.
Yeah. And now there are enough jokes going around that her grave is the first gender-neutral bathroom.
Why?
Don't know.
If she was able to run for 11 years, she did something right, I would assume.
Yeah, you might do something right, but, you know, it's still, like, let's say Margaret Thatcher wasn't really that loved by, the people. There was a little bit of, how do I put
What is
this?
it? Edward the eighth? The eighth? The eighth? The eighth? Why is that so weird to pronounce? The eighth Edward, known as the Duke of Windsor, was King of the United Kingdom, but was subsequently dethroned the same year.
Hmm.
That's a skill issue.
Yeah, as if you're someone within the government, you have to make sure you do your job. Unless you're a dictator, then it's pretty safe, but if the public is voting for you, then you better make sure you keep them satisfied if you want to stay in power.
Winston Churchill actually ran another term.
After the whole war thing.
So he went from 1940 to 45, exactly those 5 years. Then
Yeah.
another guy ran for the Labour Party who did 6 years and 93 days, and then Churchill ran another 3 years, 3.5 years after that.
Hmm. I mean, that's actually quite interesting that he did manage to run again.
Yes. And not only that, not only did he run again, he ran again after 6 years and 93 days.
Yes, and after dealing with a country at war, which is a very difficult thing to do right, because you're probably going to do it wrong in a lot of people's eyes.
Yes.
Like that's just how it is running a country at war. You have to make a lot of decisions to keep the country afloat. I mean, the UK was pretty much at a bit of a dangerous position, to put it that way. They had so you have the entire island basically starving. If it wasn't for well, the US did help quite a bit with that, in that sense, with the whole, you know, bringing supplies.
Oh yeah. Okay, I don't know if you guys know about this game. Ever heard of a game called Scrap Mechanic?
Yeah, I got an update
Yes.
finally.
It's finally getting a bloody update.
After how long?
Uh, quite a long time.
After how long?
We should play it actually. That seems like fun.
Okay,
Because this
hold on there a second. There's a demo that you should check out because I'm playing it right now.
because this is coming from a Team Fortress 2 player. A game that hasn't had an update in over 10, like a major update in over 10 years. Like, the last update was Jungle Inferno. Right when I started playing it. Since then, it hasn't gotten a single update ever again.
I mean, it has had patches throughout the years, it seems.
Yeah, but I'm talking about major updates. Like, things that actually bring content.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm scrolling through the devlogs right now. Where is the first survival update? Because that's the big one. We're all the way back at 21 at this point. I don't know. It's definitely been a couple of years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I am excited for it though, so I'm probably gonna play it once it comes out.
Yeah, there are decent games coming out in the next couple of in the future.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
the only thing is
that's
that,
Blade Zero.
well, actually, that's also a good thing that I saw. That PlayStation is in trouble.
Are
With
they now?
specifically a Dutch organization.
What?
Because if PlayStation decides to fully get rid of their physical media, then they have a monopoly on the PlayStation store. They have a monopoly on their games.
Oh.
Because the only thing that would prevent you
I mean,
from...
you can still download codes, right? Because sometimes you buy like a
I'm not sure. Like, I know it's available on
Lost,
Steam
but it
as a
just has
function.
downcoded it.
I'm not sure if PlayStation has that.
I think they do. I don't know if they do actually.
But that's
I
the
mean, they
thing.
can add it quite easily.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? If they were to fully get rid of the entire game part, like the discs, then the only place you could, in theory, buy them is within their store, meaning they could do whatever they want because they're the only ones,
That is very funny.
and it's not very consumer. Then like the organizations for consumers are gonna have a talk with you because that is very anti-consumer.
That is very funny.
And here in the EU, we don't take too kindly to that. If you start getting rid of consumer rights and stuff like that, there are going to be complaints about it. Because here in Europe, we somewhat care about the consumers. We also care about their data because you can collect it and sell it for money. Why do you think you have to make an account for everything these days, or better yet, why you have to verify your age with ID? That just sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
I like that Steam has been able to kind of work its way around that now.
yeah, but the thing is, Linux as well. You know, what about that?
What the hell?
What about that?
Like, that is a real thing. Like, Linux is open source, and they want you to have to identify you for using, even with your operating system. So you'd have to identify yourself to Windows.
Yeah.
But how do you do that with Linux?
You
Yeah.
can't.
No. So, yeah, what then? If you can't let Linux deal with it, if you can't do it with Linux, then having Windows and Apple be the only things that require you to identify stuff, you're gonna lose a lot of people to Linux.
Well, I really would like to go to Linux, but like all arcade programs are Windows.
I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with it.
Yeah, and that.
Like, first of all, you have to basically know coding quite a bit. Because you have to do everything yourself. Like, Windows is basically a pre-installed
Steam
package.
machine. What is this?
You don't know this? The Steam machine?
No, this is my first time seeing this.
Steam machine that's
How
basically
old is this
Steam
thing?
dipping their toes
I
into
think it's new.
a
Yeah, I was about to say,
semi-console
that seems
PC
very
thing.
new.
Because that's what it is. Basically, it's basically sort of PC console
Yeah, it is
thing.
priced like a PC though. You are just paying $1,000 for it.
Yeah, but that's because of component prices these days. Like, that's because some people decided that having bad AI generated videos.
Version 160 euros, and you only have 16 gigabytes of RAM. That's, I don't know.
What the fuck was that? Why did that one flip immediately? Yeah, oh well. But like, just because a couple of people made a company, or made multiple companies, that are now basically shoving their shit into everything. And we have to now deal with a bunch of bullshit. Like, thanks YouTube YouTube for filling yourself with crappy AI generated voiceovers or videos that just suck, instead of letting the people make the content like they're supposed
okay.
to.
I did not know that the PlayStation Pro was that expensive nowadays.
Yeah.
Does not seem worth it.
Dante, remind
Just
me,
buy-
how much?
Like, PlayStation is crazy expensive. It's basically the Apple of consoles. Really expensive,
Well,
and you're stuck in their
I
ecosystem.
I kind of liked when I had a PlayStation to play on it, but you can't run Discord, which was quite annoying.
And also, the thing with
Which was my main
Xbox,
motivation of getting off it, and but then I did not buy it for 1,000 bloody bucks. I paid like 400 for the Pro at the time.
yeah, but the funny thing is, right? With Xbox, which if they were to stop making physical stuff, wouldn't have the same problems as PlayStation, is because they have PC components. They have the Xbox Game Pass. You have the store on PC, meaning you can get it in multiple places. Like the Xbox, like PlayStation games are pretty much just PlayStation exclusive.
Depends on the game. Most games are not anymore. Some of the good ones are still, though.
Yeah, speaking of games that are exclusive to one thing,
Okay,
Mario Kart
the
might not
PlayStation
be.
4 has dropped in values so much.
Yeah, it's outdated as shit. But
Dude, you can get a PlayStation 4 for under $100 now.
But-
Yeah,
speaking of
but then you can't play Stellar Blade on it,
games staying within one franchise, Mario Kart might not be a Nintendo exclusive pretty soon.
Ooh, is there like copyrights running out?
No,
well, they're
definitely
making.
not. Mario's like 30 years old. There's no way.
There is a project going, which is called Mario Kart Wii Compiled. It is a PC port of Mario Kart Wii. Meaning,
see.
once it's out, you can play that game on your PC.
Uh-huh. Curious.
Isn't that awesome that it might also spark the online community again? Because of, the speed running in that game. It's a racing game, so it's technically always speed running. But that's besides the point. The point is that it's a game that's used to be exclusive, and it's quite an old game as well. Like, how old is Mario Kart Wii? I suspect something like 10 years or something. Uh, 2008. This game is, let me calculate in my head real quick. This game is like 18 years old. Now I feel old.
We are old.
Yes. Which reminds me, we're not experts.
But we're not. But we, do it again.
We're not experts.
We're old.
But we were.
He's just